Just a friendly reminder that the opinions expressed on this show are not worth a Canadian penny, so disregard anything you hear that might get anyone in trouble. And despite some of the great ideas you may hear, don't try them at home. Go to a friend's house instead.
It's time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. Well, I could afford one. And if I did just a little less drinking, time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.
Hello and welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 350 for April 16th, 2020. I am one of your hosts, Trevor the Ferlate.
I'm another one of your hosts, Kelly, the classy one, Lynn, I guess. I don't know.
You don't know my nickname. I tell you, I'm not going to pick on you before the show, and then the first thing you say on the show is screw up your own nickname. How am I not supposed to?
I am the classy one. However, I don't know.
Kelly Lynn.
I don't know if
I'm the classy one.
I don't know if I am anymore.
No, I don't.
Amongst our group, guess I still am. So, kidding.
You're classy in this company, yes, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
In this company, you are classy.
That's not saying much.
And Adriel, it's true.
Thanks,
true.
Adriel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Classy by these standards are hobos by anybody else's.
Yeah.
And Adriel, I stepped all over you. Sorry.
I'm Adriel, the frosty one.
Hi, frosty one. Stay frosty. Right now,
Stay
it's important to
frosty.
stay frosty. Yeah.
Cold here. We had our coldest April on record. April 13th, we broke all the records. Sweet.
Okay. Something about Alberta. Everything's a
13th?
contest.
Today is the 16th. What?
Yeah. And now
Okay.
it's gonna warm up, and I'm gonna shoot a bunch of gophers in the face.
I had
I'm
snow
gonna
this
do.
afternoon. It actually had big snowflakes today. I'm going, what the hell is this?
There's gonna be snow on, and then there's gonna be gophers that pop up, and they're gonna
That's
just
beautiful.
stick out. And I'm
Yep.
gonna shoot them, and there's gonna be this
Red mist
beautiful
all
little.
over the. Yep.
It's gonna be like you flicked a paintbrush
Yeah.
across the snow.
Yes.
Yeah.
I am jealous. The first time I whacked gophers was Easter weekend. I went out to Calgary to visit Jeff. It was the year of the 51st annual Calgary Gun Show. We went to the CSSA Stick to Your Guns dinner. I got to meet Mr. Philp and whacked a schwack of gophers with his 17 HMR that I later purchased
Oof.
from him.
Oof.
Yeah. And it was Easter and there was still a lot of snow. And it was exactly like you described, man. You could see them everywhere because there was nothing for them to blend into. And they're starving because they just woke up and there's not a lot of fresh grass to eat yet. So you shoot one, or you shoot a bunch, right? You go to another part of the field, you come back, and they're eating their dead friends.
Yep.
Cannibalistic little bastards.
And you're like, whoa, that's against the laws of nature. I got to do something about this.
I have to step in and intervene. It's time for an intervention. Yeah,
Stop
exactly.
that.
Stop
you
it.
stop it. You stop it, and you stop it. You're all going to stop it.
And I'm going to help you stop it with a little schwack.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's always good fun. Kelly, you ought to get out there doing some maple seed positioning and whacking gophers with maple seed gear. That would make nothing would make me happier. Even coming out of COVID wouldn't make me as happy as seeing you prone in a field whacking gophers with your maple seed rig.
Okay.
Have you done this, Kelly? I feel like you've done this.
Shot gophers? No.
I know.
Really?
What's that face? No,
Really?
I have not shot gophers. I
It
know.
is like
We don't have prairie dogs here or gophers. We have the big ass groundhogs. Just like
yeah, but you haven't done it in
woodchuck.
Saskatchewan or Alberta or anything like that. Oh, we're gonna
No.
change this. We gotta Oh.
Fix yourself.
Really?
No.
Like you take all the skills of maple seed and you go for shooting and you,
Right.
you apply them all. You apply them all.
Real world application.
Test those fundamentals
yeah,
a few
no,
hundred
I haven't-
times a day.
I haven't done it.
If you don't get 100, you don't get your patch.
Awesome. Great.
And you have to use all three positions too.
Okay.
Yeah,
That'll
we
be
should
fun.
have a patch. Have a
Oh,
gopher
that's
patch.
oh my
Gopher
goodness!
patch.
A maple seed with a dead gopher on top of the maple leaf.
No more
Sorry, not a maple
patches.
seed, but a maple leaf. It looks just like the maple seed rifleman's patch. But there's a
God.
gopher with X's over his eyes superimposed on the maple leaf.
Okay.
Huh?
The maple leaf is
I'll,
a spray pattern from
Yeah.
behind them.
I'll suggest it on the next meeting. We'll design it.
Please do, yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool.
All right.
No, maybe not.
Cool.
Why don't we jump into what we did this week in Gun Kids? As always, brought to you by Canada's premier firearms retailer, the Calgary Shooting Center. This week, CZs galore, and in particular, the CZ P10F back in stock, on sale, 4.5-inch barrel. It's the full-size model, $545. It's a Glock killer. It really is.
It is. For the price, and the used market's good on them too.
Hell yeah.
Mhm.
This is what it looks like in case anyone is watching and wants to see what the CZ P10 looks like.
Yeah.
There we go. I got my camera turned on. Beautiful gun. It's got front and rear cocking serrations. It has serrations on the side of the frame for you to place your trigger finger on when you're, reloading or unloading or moving. It has a trigger safety like a Glock. Trigger is much, much better than a factory Glock trigger, for example. We always compare it to the Glock, but it's also better than M&P and several others. Short reset, about 5.5 pounds. It has nice texturing on the grip. It's stippled front, back, and sides. The magazine release is kind of low profile, so if you're carrying this gun or using it as a duty gun in courses or something, it's not going to like snag on stuff, but at the same time it has a lot of surface area, so you can get to it even if you have small thumbs. It has ambidextrous slide stop, so that means it's on the left and right side. It comes with 3-dot sights, but I've blacked out my rear sights and added a green fiber optic to the front there. So there are some Cajun Gunworks upgraded parts available for this gun. It's got a super, super long grip. It's, longer than it really needs to be. And that's because the mags are super long as well. And that's because in Freedomville, USA, they are 19 round capacity, not 17. Another nail in the Glock coffin. So it's CZ. CZ has been around for, longer than Glock. They make the world famous CZ75 and, of course, the Shadow and the Shadow 2 that we all love here so much on Slamfire. So you take that quality and put it into a polymer striker fired handgun. Boom. That's what you get. I love them. Absolutely love them. I shot that gun and like first magazine I put it through, I got on the phone to Jeff. I'm like, I need the compact now. So anyway, Calgary Street, if you don't shop there, you're communists. What we did this week in guns, let's see. I got back to work in the basement on reloading projects. I had, something like 2,000 rounds of 1,500, 2,000 rounds of 9mm that I loaded up that needed to be case gauged and stored away. So I did that. And then I switched the press back over to 223 and finished my reloading for 223 and case gauge that, put that all in stripper clips and put that away in cans. And then today, yesterday into last night, and again today, I spent the day sorting literally an accumulation, years worth of range brass that accumulated in my basement. And it was in different bags and boxes and Rubbermaids, and I finally got through it all and sorted it all by, of course, it's dirty and it's 9mm and 40 and 45 and 223 and all that stuff. Now I'm going to check and see if I can wear out a Dillon vibratory tumbler. I'm going to, I've got all the 9mm brass that other Trevor brought me. Plus I've got about a half a 5-gallon bucket of my own dirty 9mm. So I'm going to clean it all and to get it like really, really clean. In that vibratory tumbler with the media that I have the small grit fine corncob media, and it does a great job, but you got to leave it in a long time. So it's like put it on, leave it overnight. So
I've heard of some people saying to use wax of some kind to keep the shine longer.
Wax. And it's not that it makes it shine longer. It's that it just comes out. I mean, you can polish brass, right? Brass will take a real nice shine. So if you put brass polish in your media, man, it comes out looking super shiny, super clean inside and out. So I can't be bothered. As long as I get all the carbon and stuff off, I'm happy. I used to have a bottle of the Dillon polish, and when it was done, I never bothered to replace it. It's not that important to me. So that's all I did. Gun stuff this week. Sold some guns and brought some guns to the post office. I brought one box to the post office, weighed 33 pounds. It contained 5 single shot Coues. Sold all the Coues.
How much that
shipping, man.
cost?
The 3 boxes, Kelly, cost $140 to ship.
No, that's not bad, actually.
Hmm.
It's not bad. And it's,
Say so.
yeah. Oh, I'm used to sending some heavy stuff across the country.
Oh,
It
that's
usually
true.
gets that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm, mhm.
yeah.
Do you guys have one of the Canada Post business things?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I keep meaning to get one, but anyway. Yeah. So who's next?
Adriel?
Yeah, I
Adriel.
guess.
All
Yeah.
right, go ahead, bud.
I have been, so I made some 6.5 Creedmoor. I didn't go to the range. I've been prepping up 3 or 8 brass. I've got them all sized now, and now I am getting into trimming them. So I wanted to show the leeway of doing this because it's the cheap way.
Yeah.
It's garbage. It
Okay.
actually trims them shorter than what the recommended length is, and it wears out.
Oh.
Sure. I don't care. It's cheap. It's fast.
It's cutting them shorter than it's supposed to.
Is this going to affect the performance in my M1 Garand as I blast away with it?
Fine.
So is it Boogaloo ammo?
It's Boog approved.
Then it's
I'm bored and I just want to make some ammo, and
Problem-
I don't want to take
Adriel,
like forever to cut these things down.
Well, you won't take forever because your cutter that came with your little Lee tool is going to wear out in 50 cases, and then it's not going
no,
to cut
it is
shit.
not, because I have had this. I have done probably 1,000 with this.
Oh
cutter
my god!
So far.
Wow, my
So-
stuff wore out quick. Because brass is soft, but it's very abrasive, and it will wear out those steel cutters.
Okay, mine still looks good.
Yeah, good man. Keep going till
Yeah. And I've got one of those case prep expresses that I'll use to do the chamfer on there afterwards.
Mhm. The only problem to that system, well, one of the other problems is put it into the chuck, tighten it, take it out. You're right to have the glove for sure. Glove is highly
You
recommended.
wear your fingers. Like they
Yeah.
sell a ball or something like that for the cutter that as well. That would be like a bit easier to grip, because I find if I do like 200 cases with this, it starts to wear on my fingers. But
I put
Yeah.
mine in my drill press, and then I don't have to worry about the battery.
yeah,
It's pretty good.
I usually I've got like a box of that I'm using to like catch shavings here,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't get little brass shavings all over the carpet in here,
Smart.
yeah.
and then step on them later and be like, "Ah, what the hell is that? What is that? Stupid little brass shavings." Anyways, I'm almost done trimming all of these, so I don't have enough bullets to make them all. I just want to like get them all done at the same time and have them all in the same state, so that they're
Mhm.
all fully prepped. Because once the cases are fully prepped and trimmed and everything, the rest of the reloading is super easy and super quick, like ridiculously quick. I've got a RCBS Charge Master over here for the powder, and that's nice because in the time it takes you to load a bullet onto your cartridge and run it and do whatever kind of checks you need to, it's got the powder done. So you put that one off to the side, you grab that guy, you pour the powder in, put the pen back, go do your thing. By the time you're done, powder's ready to go again. So it's super, super nice on that. You can get into a really good rhythm doing that.
Question about powder and powder dispensers.
Mhm.
You shared a photo with us today of a Lee powder dispenser.
It was clean, right? It has not been used.
It wasn't
right?
mine. It wasn't mine.
Okay.
It wasn't yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So
All right.
describe that for the listeners and viewers.
It was one of the perfect powder measures, the ones where you go like this, and the guy was using it for
Dispenses, yeah.
coffee. Yeah,
Yeah.
he was using it
It
for
was
perfect
screwed-
coffee.
Screwed to a cutting board and then placed on the kitchen counter filled with sugar.
Sugar.
I could just see a coffee cup going underneath that, spin the handle, dispenses the sugar. It's perfect. Brilliant.
I love it. That would be really cool for not sugar, but the fake sugar, because the fake sugar is like
Splenda?
you need that stuff like metered out correctly. A little bit too much, no good.
It's really sweet. Yeah.
And then you could, yeah. I've got one of those
Or-
the perfect powder measures. I wonder if I put a whole bunch of. I've got that fake sugar, the
Splenda?
Sweet and Low Splenda. Yeah, Splenda. I got a whole bunch of that stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll use the perfect powder measure for the Splenda. That's the real killer
Yes.
app here, not the sugar.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
added calories.
Mm.
Am I convincing you of this?
Nope.
Well, I'm a
can't.
little bit bored, and I might do some stupid stuff just because I can, and therefore I will.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. No, I will have to explain to Jordan when he comes on for our next microcast that you will be the one asking the ridiculous questions about foolishness. Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now.
That's where you're at.
I am all ridiculous all the time
I
because
accept it.
all my serious time is gone. So I work during the day and make ammo and play video games and do
Be
stupid stuff.
ridiculous.
It's the video game playing going.
We are we balance each other
Lots of
out.
time.
There's no doubt about it. I am on one end of the COVID experience spectrum, and you are.
Firmly on the other side.
I'm not sure if you're on the spectrum. You're like that UV area that we can't see. That's the spectrum you're on.
Adriel has always been like Max relax. Nothing bothers him.
Not much. Not much.
Right.
I would like to go to the range. I have this nice Matrix aerospace rifle that I built.
I would like
With
to
my
take
own
my
hands,
non-restricted
assembled.
gun to the range. Shut up. That's what you need to do. It's non-restricted, moron. You don't need to go to the range. You can take it wherever the hell you want.
Oh yeah, just find some crown land around Edmonton. Yes, yes, around this 1 million person city. Yes, I'm sure there'll be lots of crown land I can go see and just drive out into the bush. It's not all privately owned.
Head north, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I might take it out this weekend and
Right.
I might try it on a gopher. Well, who knows? Who knows, right?
That would be wonderful. Nothing would please me more.
Mm-hmm. I think that is all I've been up to. Definitely. Yeah.
Alrighty.
It's been a short week for everybody.
Mhm.
The reason is because everybody talked about it 2 days ago, 3 days ago.
That too. Yeah.
Well, if we don't
no.
talk about our gun stuff on the microcast, then we'll have stuff to talk about on the regular show. It's almost
I
like
literally
this.
reviewed all the stuff I did from last week just now.
Yeah,
I made
same
some
here.
6.5, didn't go to the range, and I prepped up some 308 cases. That's it.
Excellent. Kelly, what about you? You do anything?
No, not much. Nope. I talked about getting the 1022 on Saturday from SFRC for my dad because of his retirement. So yeah, he got that. He loves it, by the way. He's all excited about going out and trying it out. He's going to be going out to my brother's place. My brother actually sent me a message today and said, "Here's some targets. Come out to my place." And I said, "Yeah, sure." When we're not social distancing, isolation, whatever, I'm gonna go out to his place.
Did you bolt
try it
log
out.
your dad's 1022?
Nope, didn't do anything. So that's the other thing. I basically, because he again, social isolation, so I dropped it off at his place, kind of like left it in the house while he's sleeping, and then we're going to talk about some of the things that, like, he has never had a, I don't know if he's ever had a 1022. He says, "I want a 1022." So here's some of the things that he needs to do. I actually wanted a little bit different version, but because all of the kids were going in on it together, I said, okay, let's just get this one basic one. It comes with the scope, and it came with the hard case as well.
Oh, that one, yeah.
You know, but anyways, it's not the one that I would probably have picked, but there's some things that we can do to it to make it a little bit better. So I'll talk to him about doing the bolt mod. I have the extended mag release, and I also have the buffer pins. So I'm going to actually change those out for him too. And the other thing that he needs an extended rail, because he just has the regular mounts on it, and the scope's not very good either. So we'll talk about those things. So yeah. But he's excited about going and trying it out, and trying it out with rabbits and different things like that. So
Yeah, perfect
Yeah.
rabbit gun.
I did actually start talking about it last week, but you guys are talking about Pornhub or whatever. But it's a perfect opportunity to talk about renewing your memberships. I was able to renew my CCFR membership, my individual one, and then I got it with the legal package. Everybody needs to do that, plus the high capacity magazine, so you can get those magazines once every quarter. Also renewed the business CCFR membership, also renewed my membership at my local range as well. And the reason that we need to do that is right now, the ranges. I know that people aren't able to go to the range, but they still need the money to function. So,
Some of them are still open.
yeah, some of them are still open. Majority
Mhm.
aren't, but I'm just saying if it's time for you to renew, think about actually renewing and not asking for any money back right now. And it's just because again, they have overhead to cover, and they're counting on that membership too. So yeah. So and and the other thing too, I went and got it while Trevor was talking. You guys, you need to do this. This is
What is this? Describe it.
This is actually, so I'm holding up a bowl and it has sourdough starter in it. So I'm part of the Bigaloo Bread Club.
So am I.
Yeah, I added Adriel. So it's a group of gunnies that are on Facebook who've joined this Facebook group and we were cooking bread. I'm not eating bread, but I'm going to cook bread. And then I spent 3 hours yesterday looking for flour and yeast and just driving around.
Are you putting gunpowder in it or something?
No, it's
okay.
Bigaloo bread. So basically, because bread,
Boogaloo and bread, I don't think go hand in hand. But
Yeah.
I'm not
They
a
do.
Boog
They do.
expert.
They do. You need to make your own food. You can turn a little bit of flour into like a whole bunch of bread.
right? And right now, what's happening is the toilet paper shortage, which is no longer. It's
Never
now
was.
it's now flour and yeast. So none of the stores have flour and yeast. So, anyways, people are baking because they're bored and they want to make their own bread. So I've started I've started a sourdough starter. So in 1 week from now, I'm going to have sourdough bread. I'm not going to eat it. I'll probably give it away.
Okay.
Anyways, so yeah, if anybody's interested, let me know and I'll add them to the group, or Adriel can add them to the group or whatever. So a whole bunch of us are all on there. We're posting our pictures of carbohydrate.
If anybody wants to hit me up for some Boogaloo ammo reloading recipes, because
Yeah, it's more, it's better.
well, it's
Yeah.
I'm not
This is
saying
like reloading your food. You're
Right.
reloading your food. Yeah. Now I don't make my own bread, but I did post a picture of a grocery store pizza that I picked up. And the
Everybody-
people were very supportive of my grocery store pizza because they
Everybody,
thought I made it.
yeah, everybody thought you made it because it looks kind of homemade. So it
It
looks
looked
pretty
kind
good.
of crappy, right? It's because it's a $5 grocery store pizza.
Perfect. You should have said, "Yeah, that's me."
No, I said, "Am I doing this right?" And I clearly wasn't.
Everybody's going, "Yeah, it looks awesome."
Yeah.
cool. Anything else not gun related you want to talk about, Kelly, before we move on?
You mean like your RC cars or video gaming? No, I'm good. Thank
I don't
you.
recall bringing up either of those subjects tonight.
No,
All right.
I'm good.
Upcoming events. We had a conversation about the charity shoot, and just to let everybody know that May 15th will be the cutoff. So what we mean by that is if we are out of quarantine before May 15th, we'll go ahead with the event. If on May 15th we are still in quarantine, we will cancel the event. So I said it before, you want a refund, you go to Practice Score and withdraw, and we'll process a refund. Or you can just leave it there and we'll send an EMT over to the Rodney Harkwell Memorial Fund with whatever money we've collected so far. Or we could always talk about rolling it into next year.
Yep, we can do that. Too.
Yeah. I think the thing to do is just hold the charity shoot, same bat channel, same bat time, year from now, everything else remains the same charity, etc. So
it's just like bumping the Olympics down the road. Same
you
scale.
got it. Same idea. Yeah. So news, anything, Adriel? Urban Tactical?
Urban Tactical got broken into. That's new.
Yep.
Gun shops in Quebec are getting popped too, guys.
I don't think they got anything though, because they didn't have any guns out because they're in lockdown. So they probably like packed all their stuff up and are like are just doing the mail order thing. So I don't think they got anything.
Dummies.
But they did leave behind some prints, apparently. So
Oh, good.
yeah. So apparently they're going to get a little visit from the friendly neighborhood RCMP at some point
Cool.
soon.
Let's get swatted.
Yay!
New gun stuff, Adriel. You got something here. Go Tenda has got the MC9T.
Yeah, it's. I don't think I've covered this one before. Like they had the red dot version before, but they didn't have the red dot version with the fancier trigger. I don't know if you can call it that on a Turk gun, but it's got a
we had one
fancier
at the
trigger.
shop.
How are they?
They're fine. It was
What's
the
a
5
red
inch.
dot on there? Like that's the question
It
I've
was a
got.
Viper.
No way.
Yeah, it was a
Really?
Vortex Viper. Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, we had the 4-inch guns and we had the 5-inch guns, so like the Glock 17 versus the Glock 34.
Mhm.
So it would have been like your Glock 34. These serrations cut into the slide, and optic ready right on the gun, optic included.
Huh. Yeah. And it's serrations, different trigger. I don't know.
Not just serrations.
560? Lightning cuts.
What are those lightning cuts called?
Lightning cuts.
No,
Yeah.
there's another word for it. Skeletonized. The slide's been
Yeah.
skeletonized.
Yeah. To reduce weight so that you can run a red dot on it. It's the same as before. Something like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that was neat.
And then the world's squarest brake.
Yep.
Squarest and probably one of the cheapest ones in Canada.
True story.
Yeah, Spectre's got a Glock brake. $50, $49.95.
Mm-hmm.
That's a cheap brake.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Fits
Yeah,
in with
I
the
have
rest of the
thoughts.
gun. Like it's square like the rest of it. You don't like square?
No. I just think it's $50 and you get what you pay for. And it looks like it's held on with 2 set screws.
Yep.
Maybe.
It
So you screw it on and you tighten the set screws?
I've never seen you have to, is it threaded?
It has to be.
Should
Because
be.
there would be nothing like you have to thread on something that's going to pull on the gun like that.
It
Yeah.
says threaded.
Mhm.
TPI threaded muzzle
Yeah.
brake compensator for yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Yep.
So you'd need a gun that can take a brake on it. You would need something that's got the threads on it. It's very compact.
So then you jam those set screws into your threads.
Yep.
Yeah, that
I'm
doesn't
just
really-
looking to see if they.
Doesn't really seem like a great idea.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe there's something else that locks it on. Anyways,
A wish
that's
and a
new.
prayer is what.
There you
a
go.
little bit of spit.
Yeah, spit on it. Works every time.
That works every time. Yeah.
Works great.
All right. Listener
Anyways,
listener feedback is all we're going to do this week. So,
Yep.
we got a fair amount of feedback and some things to talk around. So we're going to make our feedback our main topic. So listener feedback is, as always, brought to you by Armory DC Gunsmith, who is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. You can also follow him on Instagram and Facebook. I got a red dot in the mail actually right now. Oh, I built an AR. Why didn't I show you guys the AR I built? What did you do this week? Oh, nothing. Just some reloading. Crap. I built an AR. Anyway, I'll show it next week. I got to go take it and just get it sighted in.
before we get to the listener feedback,
Yeah, man.
Mr. Mead on Facebook was mentioning, hey, what about the new Strike Eagles from Vortex? Did we talk about these?
We did.
Yeah, we did
We talked about the 6 to 24, not
we
the
did.
1 to 6 and the 1 to 8.
Yeah.
I don't know
And-
what's new on those though. Do you know what's new on the 1 to 6?
No. The new Strike Eagle isn't like the old Strike Eagle. It's basically like a Diamondback. It's got it's got a bigger eyepiece and stuff.
Mhm.
There's a video that Vortex just put out comparing the new Strike Eagles to something.
Looks like they've got a throw lever
Haven't
that's
looked.
built into it, which is kind of cool.
Hey, you want to pull it up?
Yeah. How about he email us and we'll make it part of the main topic?
Well, we did talk about it a little bit last week during the episode.
Not the other ones though. I don't know that they
Yeah.
had a new 1 to 6 and new 1 to 8. This is the 1 to 6 and 1 to 8. They got that's a different reticle.
Okay, so the Strike Eagles that are currently out there, like I have, the 6 has a Christmas tree that's inverted, and then the 1 to 8 has like your typical triangular reticle.
Uh-huh.
So there's like a Excuse me, like a Gen 2 Strike Eagle?
Yeah. I like that throw lever on there.
Yep.
That's handy for 3-gun and that kind of thing. These turrets, those are nice and compact.
Yep.
I go back and forth. Like having nice, real big exposed knobs is nice for PRS and that kind of thing. But for 3-gun, it's not nice, and I would rather not have like really super exposed turrets on a 3-gun or an action rifle, just because they get in the way and they get zipped by barriers or your buddies. I have buddies with the ear, like bunny ears on that.
I'm not seeing anything on their website about introducing the new. That's AmmoLand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here.
Updated 1-6 and 1-8. Their value
So what did they
priced
update?
scopes, right?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
the reticles is definitely new.
I have not
What
seen
is
the
I
new
don't see
reticle.
anything. Oh, it says cleaner, sleeker profile. So that's new.
And those prices we were talking about that last week as well. We were comparing the prices, and somebody mentioned that those are actually US dollars. So
I'm not seeing any
it's going to be a
new.
little bit more expensive.
Where are
here.
you seeing this new reticle?
On the AmmoLand article I just had up there. And then they had a link over to Amazon where they're showing the reticle as well.
There was 2 reticle options, wasn't there?
Yeah, well,
yeah.
the-
There's a couple.
yes and no. The 1-6 had one reticle, and the 1-8 had a different reticle. You
Right.
couldn't get the 1-6 reticle in your 1-8.
Right.
Mhm.
And the 1-6 reticle, I did not like as much as the 1-8.
Yeah.
I'm on the AmmoLand article. I don't see any reticle. I just see a video.
Click through to there's an MSRP thing where it says Strike Eagle 1-6 and 1-8.
Mm-hmm.
Click on those. That'll get you to Amazon. Amazon has the pictures of the
Nope.
reticles.
No, I must not be on the same. Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
I much prefer the reticle I have now. Oof.
I mean, like the problem with a 1 to anything, a 1-6, 1-8.
Oh, at
like,
least they made the 1-6 and 1-8 reticle the same this time.
yeah, like a second focal plane, you'd have to use it all the way zoomed in, and all the way zoomed in for like it has to be second plane. For a first focal on a low magnification scope like that gets real silly when you zoom it in.
Mhm.
But yeah, I do a lot of my 3-gun shooting at lower magnification. I don't crank it up all the way to do a lot of the long stuff. So
Yeah.
I probably wouldn't find much use in the drop reticles that they have on those, especially since it's second focal plane.
Ooh.
But
Is it? Okay.
yeah,
Go
second focal plane.
All right. Anything else on the Facebook before we jump to the regular feedback?
Nope.
Okay. The first one comes from Dan. Dagnabbit. I was listening to the Trap podcast and mini podcast today, and the topic of mag-fed shotguns was briefly brushed over. Now I'm worried that my choice of a mag-fed Grizzly was a bad decision. I have never heard anyone mention the shells deforming after being in a magazine for too long. That makes 2 of us. What are my options to make sure this choice for home defense gun doesn't leave me high and dry in an emergency? With your Grizzly, that's the least of your worries. Can you folks talk about this subject? I currently just leave my target loads, there's your problem, in my magazine. So in case of an Ian Thompson situation, I can claim that my mags were still loaded from the range. And and now this letter is being submitted in court by the prosecution and not for home defense. I'm not well versed in the different types of ammunition, and I'm not even sure what Trevor means by high brass to prevent shells from deforming. I would greatly appreciate more discussion on this topic. Okay, let's pick this apart one at a time. Grizzly mag-fed shotguns are the least reliable on the market and most prone to failures to feed. So maybe not your best choice. You could go with a Mossberg mag-fed or a Remington mag-fed, unless you've tested this with, many rounds.
Lots of shells.
Lots
Just run lots of
and
shells. Like I had one chamber was rough, So sometimes trying to extract is really stiff. You can polish the chamber on that, and that will make a big difference on extract. I didn't have any problems on fail to feed, but fail to extract, it was definitely rough off and the machining is rough on it. So you'd have to run a few hundred rounds through it to really feel confident in it, I guess is what I would recommend.
Yeah. So the other thing you said that's concerning is target loads and home defense. So those are two different things, two different applications. Target loads are for target. Bird shot is for birds. So you want to look at
it's a light load. It's
slugs or buckshot. And let me show you what I mean by high brass. So if you're listening, you'll have to go back and find this episode on YouTube and look at the video to see what high brass means. But you know how your target loads have this little piece of steel at the very bottom that has hardly no material to it whatsoever around the rim? That's a low brass case. This is a high brass case, and it's what the name implies. There's brass that goes not halfway. It goes about a quarter of the way up the side of the hull. That's high brass. High brass stems from when shotgun shells were black powder, and the more powerful ones had more black powder and would burn up the shell. So they went with longer brass to contain the heat of the powder charge. But now it's all smokeless powder. We don't even need high brass anymore, but we use it anyway because it's cool. And typically buckshot and slugs come in high brass. So make sure the gun's reliable, make sure the chamber's polished and it feeds and extracts. Take your target loads out of your magazine and put the appropriate ammunition for the task at hand in them. And deforming. The reason why the high brass doesn't deform is because all the pressure is on the brass. The pressure of the spring on the follower pushing the rounds up against the feed lips. Well, my feed lips are impacted by the high brass of the shell, not the plastic of the hull. So target loads are cheap and in every which way, shape, or form. And that's why we use them for target shooting, and that's why they can deform if they're left in the
bags with target loads in them. And that's with 3-gun. What a lot of guys will do if they have those big 10-round stick mags or more, they'll stick them in a cooler in between stages to keep them chilled off and not warm where they can start to deform and start to cause issues with them. It's very common in 3-gun. Now, if you're running high brass buckshot or slugs, you may relieve the pressure off the plastic and then it doesn't matter.
Right. But would you be doing it in 3-gun? No.
High brass or what?
High brass buckshot.
In a buckshot stage.
Sometimes, they're like 3-Gun Nation has buckshot as like a thing, but it's a pain in the butt to run in a match because it just shreds targets and stands, and you gotta like check your hits on it. So we don't actually run it at my local club. And none of the matches I've been to run buckshot just because it's hard on targets.
Yep.
I have a couple times, Kelly, and what we do is, and there's actually rules around how to score these kinds of things in the IPSC shotgun world. They'll determine the maximum number of hits, for a stage in shotgun, they have a maximum number of rounds and a maximum number of hits. And you're like, how could my hits exceed the number of rounds? Well, because buckshot. So you could shoot a buckshot at a target and take your best 5 scoring hits. So the 5 pellets in the highest scoring zone. If you get 8 on target or 9 on target, or depending on how many pellets were in your buckshot load, we're only going to score your 5 best or your 4 best, whatever the match director decides to set up. And like Adriel said, they destroy stuff. So I've never shot a buckshot at a target inside of 25 yards. And the first time I did it was with a cylinder bore. I got 2 on average per target.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know, the fun thing about shotguns is you think about like inside a house, and like cylinder bore is fine because the distances are so close, like your spread is nothing.
Yeah, next you're going to say I don't even have to aim it.
Well, no.
Not really.
But then you get out to 25 yards, and all of a sudden that tight pattern in close quarters at 25
beach
yards
ball size.
is huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're missing like a ton of pellets with it.
Yeah, exactly. But up close, it's like getting hit with 5 9mm slugs at once.
Yeah, all in one spot.
Yeah. So, all right. Who's got the next one from Travis?
I'll read it. So this is from Travis. I have a Ruger AR-556, and I have two options for red dots sitting on my gun bench: a Bushnell TRS 25 and a Burris Fastfire 3 with 3 MOA red dot. I feel like the Bushnell is tougher and has more brightness settings, but the Fastfire has a wider field of view. Which would you put on and why? And thanks for thanks for always putting together a great show. I can't talk. So
I'm going to go Burris Fastfire just because I feel that the Burris name these days is more reputable and produces better quality targets than Bushnell. And I just feel better about a Burris product than I do a Bushnell product, especially a red dot. I feel like the Bushnell red dots are all probably made in a warehouse in China. And Burris maybe too, but I think Burris has just been producing illuminated scopes and red dots, maybe, if I'm not mistaken, a little bit longer.
Mhm.
And I've handled both Burris scopes and Bushnell scopes and red dots of both manufacturers, and I tend to feel that the Burris is just a better quality product.
They have an AR fast fire. Like they have a fast fire and they have an AR fast fire. And the difference between the two is that the AR fast fire has protection for the red dot. I'm talking the Burris. The TRS 25 works too. I know lots of guys who run those, and they're surprisingly cheap and durable for an inexpensive red dot. I wouldn't put them up against a aim point or something like that.
Yeah.
But they work for the price. I think if I was going to run that fast fire, I might want to run that mount, that AR mount that has the protection on it, because it's just a little window with a little piece of, like, it doesn't look beefy enough for abuse if you're going to throw abuse at it. If you're not going to throw abuse at it, the fast fire is probably better. I wonder which battery lasts longer and what the battery replacement is like. Because some red dots are really good with batteries. Like my aim point is good for like 3 years. It's just on all the time.
If we knew a guy that reviewed gear, Kelly, we could suggest that he get a bunch of budget entry-level red dots given to him by sponsors, right?
Yep.
For him to review on his channel, and we'd have a budget red dot shootout video. What do you think of that idea?
I think it's a really good idea.
Too bad we don't know somebody.
I know. Adriel, why don't you do that? I had a question about it because he says that the Burris Fastfire is 3 MOA.
Mm-hmm.
What are your concerns about that?
Don't have any.
No. Well, 3 MOA. So the AR.
I got some 6 MOA dots.
Yeah.
You wouldn't want to use that on an AR though. Like I've got a 2, and that's fine. I use that. I use that.
How far he wants to shoot. I mean,
yeah. Well,
I know 3 MOA is 3 inches 100, but I mean,
when we're talking about 50 yards, right? Though
he's not bullseye shooting, guys. It doesn't matter. Metal over meat. Put the red on the thing and make it dead.
I mean, I use a red dot for like long distance 3 gunning.
Yeah, but you're dumb. You're supposed to use a scope. You don't know any better.
I beat the guys with the scopes though sometimes.
Yeah, you shoot better too. I didn't say you weren't a good shot. I said you were dumb. They're two different things. Now, come on.
Well, okay. So the Burris has a 1632 battery, which is a tiny little guy. I don't think that's going to last that long.
That's not good. I didn't realize that.
Whereas, what does the other one use? TRS 25 battery uses a 2032. Not that much better.
Oh, yeah, I disagree. No, it may not. I mean, it's just so common in all of our optics these days, and readily
2032 is easy to find.
Very easy to find.
3,000 hours for the Bushnell.
Like
this Burris is not going to be that. So 3,000 hours versus battery life. 5,000 on the fast fire.
Ha!
All right.
There you go. Burst fast fire. Different battery though, right? Different battery?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So different battery, but more time.
Well, it's a smaller battery though. A 1632 is smaller than a 20.
Could be.
No. It's like it's the same width. It's just like skinnier on the 1632 versus the 2032. It has a smaller battery and it lasts longer.
Perfect.
hmm
because it's a better product that sucks less light.
Yep.
Yeah. Like so the better red dots like are super efficient. I think the Comp M4 goes 8 years or something stupid. Like your battery, like the lifetime of the battery is probably less than the lifetime that it takes to take down all the power on it. Like the shelf life. You wouldn't want to put a battery on the shelf for 8 years and like pull it out. Anyways, maybe
No,
we've talked long
You
enough
would not.
about red dots.
Cool. All right. Adriel, do you want to read Joel's?
Yeah, you bet. Happy Apocalypse Slamfire family.
No.
I've been tricking out a Bear Defense 12 gauge shotgun. Oh, Bear Defense, yes,
Sweet.
for a while. But I've run into a question how to mount a red dot on it.
Oh,
My Canuck Defender comes with an 11 millimeter dovetail, but I can't find a red dot that mates with this. Do you know of a reliable 11 millimeter dovetail to Picatinny rail adapter so I may use a Vortex with my bear gun? I'm trying to avoid the gunsmithing drill tap solution so I don't have to be without the gun. Are there any other solutions to this problem? 11 millimeter?
Mm.
Really?
I'm looking at the Canuck Defender that you reviewed there, Adriel, on your blog.
Mhm.
Is there a rail that screws to the top of that receiver that's
Oh.
compatible with Mossberg or Remington?
I don't remember a rail being on the top of the thing.
No, I didn't say there was. I'm asking if there is one that's compatible. Is the receiver pre-drilled? And if so, what pattern?
I don't think it's pre-drilled for anything. Like there is a groove in the top, but it's like your standard like shotgun.
Yeah.
Look along this part here. It's grooved so that the sunlight doesn't reflect off of it and get in your face.
Comes with an 11 millimeter dovetail.
That doesn't make any sense because 11 millimeter is 3/8, isn't it? Like that's the rimfire one.
I'm gonna look it up.
Mm.
The only people who use like a dovetail like that for a centerfire rifle or shotgun would be like CZ has a dovetail.
Yep, the 11 millimeter is the 22.
I don't think it's got an 11 millimeter. Then it doesn't make any sense. It's grooved on the top
Or
for
is it?
the sight, but
11 millimeter CZ. Leupold makes CZ 11 millimeter dovetail rings, and I'm pretty sure those are the.
I'm not seeing a rail on any of these other Canucks. Did you say the Defender?
Yeah, I did.
Defender. Okay. Well, Joel, you'll have to let us know.
Yeah, that's
maybe take a
22 stuff.
picture
Even
on
if I
this
look up
and-
the rail, Adriel, I get 22 stuff too. Now you can get adapters, right? Like I'm on Amazon.com.
Right.
And there's a Mizugiwa 11 millimeter dovetail to 20 millimeter weaver. Then you're gonna end
There's
up-
not a dovetail on this thing. No
All
one
right.
would put a dovetail on a shotgun. Doesn't make any sense. It can't take that kind of recoil.
All right, Joel, as soon as you hear this, please take pictures and email them to slamfireradio@gmail.com and we will help sort this out.
Maybe.
From Joel
Or maybe
number
we'll just
2.
get confused.
Hey guys, love the show. I've been a listener since around episode 200 or so, and I've been enjoying it ever since. I recently changed jobs, and with a shorter commute, I don't listen to nearly as many podcasts as I used to. But Slamfire is still one I still make sure to listen to every episode. I have a few questions to ask you guys, but I figured I'll ask one at a time so I don't eat up too much time all at once or get shorter answers to each. I love the banter. I just started taking my 8-year-old daughter to the range, and she's loving it. The first day, she wanted to stay longer and longer, and when we finally had to go, she begged to come back the next day. But I couldn't due to work, and then the weather shifted, and the range is inaccessible. I lucked out with my son, who, even though he is left-handed, thanks for like pointing out, like even though he's acknowledging the deficiency here, right?
Acknowledging it.
Even though my son is handicapped and has left-handedness, he is right-eye dominant. Oh, that's good. So that's
yeah.
good. So he's not a complete write-off. And it's no need to put him up for adoption. So he's left-eye dominant, right-handed, and shoots right-handed. However, when it comes to my daughter, I had the opposite problem. She's right-handed, but left-eye dominant. Oh, so you know what she's doing, right, Kelly? She's doing that big lean. She's twisting her head all over.
Continue reading. Yeah.
Oh, man. Okay. She was shooting a Savage Rascal right hand in 22, and the size is about perfect for her. However,
she-
she was arching her head way over the comb to get the sight picture. They do it so instinctively, right? They
I
have
know.
no idea. They just do it
Yeah.
automatically. Their brain says, you can't look with this eye. You need to look
Yeah.
with your right eye. Stretch your head. She was doing pretty well for her first time out, but I think consistency will be a challenge because of her. So you got to put an eye patch on or something like that. Just poke her eye out, get rid of her left eye altogether, and she'll be fine. What's the current wisdom for teaching kids who are cross-eye dominant? The current wisdom, according to all the experts, is to match your eye in your hand. So and always go with the eye, never the hand. So if she's left eye dominant, put the gun in her left hand.
Okay.
Now, I'm not saying I agree with that, Kelly, but like
No, I don't.
know in all
Actually,
of the
I don't.
in like Olympic shooting, archery, it's always go with the dominant eye, go with the dominant eye.
Here's what we're gonna do.
Next.
Okay. So what's the wisdom for teaching kids? I see kids all the time. I also see adults, by the way, who are cross-eye dominant. And yeah, they do the old hunch over thing. There's two options with kids. And the reason is kids
Because they have two eyes.
have two eyes. That's absolutely right. Kids actually haven't had years and years and years and years and years of dominance with the hand. So they can actually almost be ambidextrous. However, that being said, when we get kids that come to Maple Seed, what we'll do is we'll put them through. We can see that they're actually cross-eye dominant almost immediately, and basically we will get them into the position, see what's comfortable for them. One thing is you have to make sure that one, they're going to be safe, two, that they're going to be comfortable, because if they're uncomfortable and everything, they're going to hate it and they're not going to actually continue shooting. So if they're left-handed and the right eye dominant, we'll try it out with the left hand, but 9 times out of 10 it lasts for about 15 minutes and we switch them over, and what we'll do is we'll get them to shoot right-handed and we'll actually patch their glasses, so their PP their PPE.
We don't patch their PP now.
No. PPE. So with kids, they're kind of like, they don't
That's the sound they make, really?
Yeah, they actually do. So they don't really understand why we patch glasses. I have masking tape. I just put masking tape on it, and I tell them, it's just like, I kind of make a game out of it. I say it's just like as if you're like Jack Sparrow or a pirate or whatever. And then I also actually sometimes I'll show them like Olympic shooters where they have they drop down a shade in front of one eye, and I said, this is like, you guys got superhero powers right here, because you know what, you have to, you're gonna be like
we get it, you lied to them.
Yeah,
cover their glasses with tape.
And it sounds like you have to. It sounds like, because if you don't, they might not go with it, and then they. That's
the thing. They actually adapt to it really, really, really quickly. Now, what I've also seen. Okay, here's the thing. Cross-eye dominance, we're seeing a lot more of it happening. And we're seeing a lot more females, so girls specifically, it happening as well.
They're getting it from the milk, just like autism. That's
exactly.
Drink milk, you get autism and cross-eye dominance.
Cross-eye dominance. The other thing that I kind of think about also, we have to start thinking about this. Like, the world is a right-handed world, and this
it is.
And this includes guns, right?
Don't forget male-dominated.
And yeah, well, I'm trying to fix that. But anyways, it is a right-handed. So if they're struggling with the left hand dominance and right eye dominance, I'd actually suggest switching them over. Just patch it. They actually catch on really quickly. And once they actually start hitting things, it's like they want to continue shooting that way. One of the things that I see most, though, is that we'll spend a day or 2 days with them or however long, and then they actually will go with mom or dad or whoever, and then they actually wear glasses, and then they don't wear the patch, and then they just revert back, and everything that we talked about just gets switched back. And it's just like, no, if we actually suggest something, continue it so that they're not having to.
Oh, you're muted.
What happened? You hear me now?
Maybe I got muted.
You were
I don't know.
taking 20 minutes to say patch the eye, so I muted you. That's what happened.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Anyways, patch the eye. And also, don't teach your own kids. Get somebody else to teach them. Come and see me. Or your wife. I've also had women who are actually quite upset. They got sent to me because they're cross-eye dominant. And once we actually just patched the eye, it was just like their marriage survived once again, because husbands get mad. Anyways, long story short, just patch the eye.
No, that was long story long.
Shut up.
Got a
Hey,
PS
we have no main topic. We're talking about this. So, anyways.
P.S. I really appreciate the mini-casts. They're called microcast episodes. They're keeping me entertained while trucking down the highway every day. Thank you. And thank you, Corey, for trucking down the highway.
Wait,
Did you read the top part?
Corey.
Oh, I was the
Let me-
PS of the. I skipped so far ahead. So I just read Corey's PS for Joel's email. That's hilarious. How about we read the rest of Corey's? Who read
I'm
last?
up.
Me?
I'm
You?
up.
All right, go ahead. Take
I'm up.
Corey.
Hello, Slamfire crew. First of all, I just
Jeebus.
wanted to say that Trevor sucks. He gave a shout out to. It's a good one though. He gave a shout out to TNA a month or so ago. Since then, I've spent about $1,500 there, and it's all his fault. I've been listening for a year now and listened to all the back episodes. My gun addiction has been fueled and worsened by all the great information
Nice.
I have learned from this show. Thanks for the great content, even if I may go broke because of it, Corey. I bet $1,500 sounds a lot like they had a blemished Matrix Aerospace build kit there. That sounds suspiciously round numberish around there.
$1,500. That's not bad.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's what I spent the last 2 days on RC.
See, now we're talking about RC cars.
Actually, it's about 17, but anyway, yeah.
Reread.
Corey's PS I already read.
Okay.
So
Anyways, that's it.
all right. We've got no new Patreons. However, if you would like to support us during this pandemic, you can do so by going over to patreon.com and signing up as a Patreoni. You'll get some swag and eventually some form of bonus content. You go to patreon.com/Slamfire Radio. You can also show us a little bit of love by visiting our site on your way to Cabela's. So if you're going to go to Cabela's, you can get there by clicking the like that we have on our website. And if you buy something, we get a cut of the action. So remember that. You don't have to support us on Patreon, but if you are going to Cabela's, you can go there through us, and it would be awesome. I have a shout out for our friend and sometimes co-host Ian from the Canadian Prepper podcast, and I think he's on Canadian Patriot once in a while too. Quite often I see him on there. I got vacuum sealed fresh 4570 brass in the mail today, so no one's ever vacuum sealed my brass before. Appreciate it. Anybody else? Adriel?
Ian as well, because he also sent me some brass, some 6.5 brass.
Oh, you got him on the last one.
Yeah, I turned it into some ammo, but I don't know if I've thanked him on the.
You thanked him
shout-outs.
personally.
Yes, I did.
He was on the show.
You might buy that Nork 22 from me. He was asking about it.
Oh,
Gotta give
cool.
him some info on that. Yeah.
Excellent.
I am good. Yep.
I would just, any other ones, Adriel? You good?
Nope, I'm good.
Sorry, Kelly. Go ahead, please.
Yep. So I just want to give a shout out to Bren, again from Tough Duck. Thanks again for the swag. I wore it last week, but I forgot to give him a shout out for it. So,
What is Tough Duck?
Tough Duck is a Canadian corporation that provides PPE as well as work gear. So Tough Duck.
They make PPEs? Or they just distribute them, or what's going on with that?
So they make PPE, which is like things like vests, helmets, different
Masks.
vests.
Masks. They make masks.
I don't know if they
Can we get
actually
some
do
cool,
make.
like-
Oh, you know what? No. They're switching over their production over to masks and other
Cool.
people. So yeah, they actually are doing it. They're based out of Winnipeg. So I took some pictures of staff at work in Tough Duck gear because we buy it for our staff. And I took pictures and they posted it on their website and also on their Instagram account, and did a shout out to people who work in institutions, keeping them running and people safe. So they sent us Tough Duck swag as a thank you. So I wanted to say thank you to Brent. Hello.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. Until next week, please join the CCFR. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. We're up to 2,400. We're keeping up on orphanages everywhere, every day. And we will have our next microcast Saturday or Sunday. We'll decide at some point on Saturday whether it's going to be Saturday night or Sunday. And special guests will be joining us, Jordan Bonaparte from the Nighttime Podcast. One of our listeners said you guys are doing a couple of different topics. You're all over the place. They wanted to hear about Oak Island. So it's like, okay. But I will not do an RC topic because apparently it drives Kelly crazy. Unless, of course, listener...
I'm fine with you talking about RC. However, we are getting a couple of comments about it on our newsfeed right now.
RC? Not the place.
Yeah.
Not the place. Anyway, yes, we'll talk about whatever you guys want to talk about on the Microcast. Can we ban Trevor from pimping his new? It's not Slam RC Whips Radio. That's right. It's not. And I support the idea for that ban, Jeremy. Anyway, unless, of course, somebody wants to hear about it on the Microcast. But even then, I don't know. But Jordan's been on our show before. He's interviewed us on our show from the perspective of a non-gun owner. And I've been on his show a couple of times, actually. Even had a voice acting bit on one of his shows. So, yes, that'll be over the weekend sometime. So now you've been warned. If you don't want to hear about Oak Island, don't tune in for the next Microcast.
So that means I don't have to be on?
That's right. It doesn't. It's exactly what it means.
But I like Jordan. I'm a Patreon.
Oh, sweet.
That's so awesome. I'll probably come on because I like him.
Cool. All right. You guys got anything?
Bake some bread.
Keep your stick on the ice.
There you go.
Bake some bread.
See you in a couple of days, guys.
So if you have any comments or questions for the show, please send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Now go grab a gun and shoot something.
When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.